Hello boys and girls, TLC 2012 review. I've got to say, I thought this was actually a very good pay-per-view. Quite happy with the end results. I think the Brooklyn crowd were fantastic, and I think the East Coast wrestling fans and perhaps the ones from Chicago are probably the best fans in the country, and in my opinion are the really good litmus test to decide who actually is a great wrestler and who gets cheered by the fans. And they were fantastic tonight, and this is a great pay-per-view. First off, we had Mysterio and Cara versus the Rhodes Scholars. This was quite a decent match. I was a bit disappointed by the whole concept of TLC, that we have just a random tables match, which is cool, but wouldn't it be great if, like, for example, at SummerSlam, we just had like a random tables match, like in a match like this? And I also noticed how back in the old days, in a tables tag teams match, both participants of a tag team would have to go through the tables. Now it just seems one person does, and I think that's kind of sad. But nonetheless, this match was really good. Cody Rhodes is really over with his mustache. It's pretty funny. I think Damien Sandow is brilliant. He's a future star. Really good stuff. Sin Cara was okay. He didn't fuck up once, which is quite surprising. And yeah, it was a pretty okay opener. Quite satisfied with that. Next we had Antonio Cesaro versus R-Truth. I really like Antonio Cesaro. I think finally he's getting the heat he deserves as a heel. I would really like to see him go more hardcore after the American public, you know, like he's being very tame. There's loads of kind of shit we could fucking have a go at the American public for, and I'd love to see a fellow European and Antonio Cesaro do that. R-Truth was good. He got lots of pops and cheers, and it was a pretty good match, pretty damn short. Cesaro got the win, rightly so. Did we really need to see this match again? I'm not particularly sure, but nonetheless, Cesaro goes over, and that's great. A further progression for his character. It's good stuff. Next, we got Miz TV. Like, I'm sure many people question, should this have been a Raw segment? But actually, I find it quite funny. And do you really want to just see a pay-per-view entirely full of matches? No, you don't. You want to see a few, you know, segments and kind of entertainment stuff. And I thought this was great. And I've got to say, 3MD, baby, I think they're fucking hilarious. Come on, they're supposed to be stupid and shit. And this is what I like. This is what's fun about wrestling. You know, the old school wrestling days, you'd always have really stupid characters that would put a smile on your face. And I think 3MD do that. I thought this was kind of a funny segment. Quite interesting, Alberto Del Rio coming out and you know, saving the Spanish announcers. Is this like a face turn for Del Rio? Like, I think that would be a good idea, because I think Del Rio's got extremely stale recently, and I don't think anyone really believes that he's a tough guy, so perhaps a face turn would be good for Del Rio, even though I don't think at the end of the night it really worked out quite well for him, but this is quite a good segment. Then we had Kofi Wade Barret. This was actually a pretty damn good match. As a Brit, I'm a little bit disappointed Wade Barret didn't win, because I think Wade Barret is without question a future main eventer, world heavyweight champion, as JBL always likes to say. So I was a bit pissed off he lost. But having said that, I also like Kofi Kingston, and he is a very entertaining wrestler, a great worker, and maybe him beating Wade Barret will enhance his character, and you know, that'd be okay, because I think the WWE needs a lot more faces, and I think tonight they actually showed quite a lot of new face turns, you know, Del Rio and etc, etc. Next, I think this is how it went, we had the Shield match. This was fucking good, I have to say. I am damn impressed by this match. What I was really scared is that the Shield were just going to get fucking slaughtered and just give Ryback and Team Hell No the win. But actually, it was a really well fucking done match, and actually stunk of the Attitude Era. I think Vince McMahon is finally kind of going back to the old school and looking at actually in-ring performers and kind of like Ring of Honor style wrestlers. I'm not a Ring of Honor fan, I've never watched it in my entire life, but I've noticed tonight, you know, you got like the likes of Cesaro and Daniel Bryan and guys from the Shield who are kind of like Ring of Honor dudes and all that going over. And I think that Vince McMahon is finally thinking to himself, you know what, I'm going to give the fans what they really want, the real fans. And we do make the majority up. I think that 40% of wrestling fans are casual. The 60% that, in my opinion, Vince McMahon should be catering for do like Ring of Honor style wrestlers, in-ring performers, and I was really happy that we had this match, and it was quite hardcore as well. The WWE needs more of this. For the likes of me, like I said at the start, the Rey Mysterio table match, why does the WWE have to have these matches just one pay-per-view a year? If you spread these out over the year, it would make the company so much motherfucking better, because this is brilliant, and it just goes to show that the WWE don't exactly have any constraints on them having these types of matches, because they did it tonight, and I'd like to see more of these matches. This was a great match. It was back and forth. All of the wrestlers came out looking good. I have to say that the Shield looked strong, they looked fighting shape, they got the win, which is fantastic. Daniel Bryan looked great, you know, he got tons of like cheers from the fans, as he always does. Ryback looked good too. I really like Ryback. I've been debating this, like, are the Goldberg chants like an insult? Because say Dolph Ziggler wins his match and people were going, HBK, HBK, that would be flattery, that would be fantastic, comparing Dolph Ziggler to HBK. So is really comparing Ryback to Goldberg a bad thing? Let's not forget Goldberg was extremely successful in '98, over as fuck. So I don't know. Like, I think Ryback looked great, and the fans were cheering out Goldberg. Is that a bad thing? Is that a good thing? Some people say it's a bad thing, but I don't really think so. And I think Goldberg looked great. In a way, I would have preferred Ryback to go over, because it would have made his character look strong and would have done a lot of help for him becoming the new face of the company. But having said that, like, perhaps the WWE are actually going to do something seriously with the Shield. At least I hope they do. If the Shield just won this and then they just become nothing, I'll be really fucked off that they didn't give Ryback the kind of push he needed. But perhaps the Shield will, you know, be good and they'll split up and become great wrestlers one day. So who knows? But this is a fantastic match with loads of great spots. One of the matches of the year, in my opinion. I loved it. I thought it was great, and in a way, it kind of like took all the fun out of the upcoming matches, because nothing could quite top that. Fucking 4-star match, brilliant stuff from the Shield, and hell no with Ryback. Liked it a lot, and Ryback looked great, and I'm really happy for that. Next we have women's match, whatever. Let's fucking move forward. A load of shit as usual. Big Show and Sheamus. I actually thought this was the least good of all the matches they've had recently. I wasn't really feeling it. Sheamus didn't really look like he was going anywhere. I was really surprised that Big Show looked so strong against Sheamus. I don't know whether like WWE are trying to bury him or not. I'm not really sure. I kind of would have liked Sheamus to maybe have won this match and then face Orton at Royal Rumble. Orton turning heel on him and giving the punt to Sheamus's head, and then Ziggler cashing in the Money in the Bank. That would have been really cool. But this match ended with Big Show winning, and I don't really know where they're going to go from here. So I was kind of not expecting this, but it was an okay match. Nowhere near as good as the one they had at Hell in a Cell. That was a fantastic match. This was okay, and yet again another example of why do we have to have 4 or 5 stipulation matches on one night? Wouldn't it not have been great to have had a chair match at Survivor Series? So this pay-per-view kind of idea, in my opinion, sucks, even though it was a great pay-per-view. I'd like to see all these matches spread out over the year. But yeah, this was an okay match, not the best out of the 3 they've had, and I'm actually quite surprised Big Show won, but whatever, still kind of good. Then we had the 3 tag team match with 3MD, The Miz, Del Rio, and the motherfucking Brooklyn Brawler. I love this because I always remembered the Brooklyn Brawler, and he was hilarious when I was growing up watching wrestling. I was actually really disappointed he wasn't in the gimmick Battle Royale at WrestleMania 17, which he should have been. So it's great that he's had this moment for him. But I must question, should this match not have been for an Alberto Del Rio face push, like I said before? Del Rio kind of de facto turned face tonight, saving the Spanish announce tables, and there was just nothing of a face turn from him. So I found that rather questionable. What are they going to do now? They probably should have had Del Rio like winning it and kind of cementing a face turn. I don't know, but having that said, the Brooklyn Brawler is an absolute legend. Love the guy. Maybe even a kind of crazy Hall of Famer in my opinion. He's awesome. So it's kind of cool that he had a night for himself. So that was actually pretty entertaining. Then we had the main event. I gotta say, like, the Shield match was so good. I actually would have liked to have seen this match as just a one-on-one, just proper wrestling match, because I think both guys are great in ring workers. You know, Cena might not be the best wrestler, so to speak, but he knows how to work a motherfucking good match. So I actually didn't really like the TLC thing particularly. It kind of slowed down the match, if anything. There weren't any particularly good spots, especially compared to the Shield match. So in a kind of way, this was a bit of a letdown in my opinion. It was still good, but I wasn't like blown away by it, which I really wanted. And I gotta say, the AJ kind of heel turn at the end, I mean, it kind of harmed Ziggler. I would have liked to have just seen Ziggler win this match clean. And if anything, it being a ladder match means that he doesn't get like an officially clean in-ring win over Cena, so Cena doesn't look so bad. So I would have liked to have seen Ziggler just win this match without any interference, but he didn't, which kind of annoyed me. But again, having said that, it's great that Ziggler won the match, so you can't really complain. And yeah, it was pretty good. Not as good as the Shield match. And overall, I thought that pay-per-view was fantastic. It was really good, probably one of the best of the years. The fact that they can put these matches on, relatively hardcore, violent TV-14 matches, just shows that they can spread this out over the year, and in doing so, I think that will garner so much more attention from the public if they kind of had these matches all across the year instead of just one night. And it was great. I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10. Good shit. Probably one of the best pay-per-views of the year. Very satisfied customer, and I would say the best people won. And yeah, the Shield, I'm fascinated to see where they go from here. So yeah, like, comment, and subscribe, motherfuckers. Peace out.